So suppose this is like Amazon.in, right? So now just see like what is the problem statement. For example, right? We have to go to the fresh first. Okay, the bot will do some data capture and all, right? From here, then it will go back to the Amazon.in. Then it will click on the sale, right? And again it will perform some action. Again we'll go back to the Amazon, right? And we'll click on maybe mobile, today's deal, customer service, right? So what I want to do, I want to click on this fresh MX player or cell by using a single action. Okay, by using a single action, right? Single click basically. So how can we achieve it, right? So for example, first I will just click on the fresh. Okay, okay. So I just clicked on the fresh, right? Then okay. After that, suppose we can go to the select. Let me go select. Click select, right? So here you can see, right? It has taken this a text, right? Fresh, and if you test it, right? See, it is clicking on the fresh. But suppose if I'm giving here cell, okay? Go to the text editor, cell, okay? Cell, and click on the test. See, it is clicking on the cell, right? But again, during the runtime, we will not go to this edit selector and we'll edit, right? So what we can do, right? We will pass the variable into the selector also. Okay. So runtime, or maybe we can take that value from the Excel or database, right? And we can pass that value in terms of variable into the selector. So based on that value, it will click or it will perform any particular action during the runtime. Okay. Save it. So suppose I will go here, set variable. I can give the name as a tab name. Okay. And timing, I will give the as a mobiles. Okay. Mobiles, for example. Save it, right? And what we can do, go to this edit and instead of cell, okay, remove it and select the variable. What is the variable tab? Okay. And save it. Save. Now what should happen? It should click on the mobiles. Run. It clicked on the mobile. Okay. So in this way, what we can do, we can pass the variable also in the selector during the runtime to make the selectors dynamic. Okay, understood? Any question, doubt? So now we'll go to this SQL, right? So yesterday we have just seen one select query. Okay, so today we'll see few more others as well. Okay, I will create in the same. So I don't know. Data. Okay. So what is the first thing we have to do? Right. Or you can do in the same flow. Okay. No need to do any change. Right. And as we discussed, right, as a best practice, we can use the close SQL connection as well so that it will get closed safely. Okay. Right. There is a one table. Okay. So now suppose, right, this is your table, right? If you want to take all the data, yesterday we have seen, we can use select query, select star from, right? And this will be our schema name, right? So if you select it and execute, right, we will get all the data which is available into the table. Okay. Same query will be able to execute, right, from the our Power Automate. Okay. Execute by using the SQL execute SQL statement. It will take this SQL connection, right? And output will get stored in this variable and it will be a data table. Okay. But suppose, right, uh, in the database, right, I want to work on a specific record. For example, right, if you have want to do any query, right? So suppose I want the record having the email is equal to test at the rate gmail.com. Okay. So we have to write a query, right? We have to write a query. It can return a record where email is equal to test at the rate gmail.com, right? So any idea like which query we have to write?
So we'll use the where condition. Yeah.
We
And
can
then
use the where condition. Yes, perfectly fine, right? So here we can use select star from whatever we have, and we can use a where condition. Means right? Okay, where email is equal to right test at the rate test dot. So why we can use the where clause? Because if you want any specific value or specific records, right, then we'll be able to do it very easily, right? Execute. Okay. Why I'm not getting it? Let me see if I
This is
enter.
gmail.com.
It. So we can see we are getting the specific record, right? Based on the our requirement. Okay, because we no need to work on other account, right? Suppose if you have any condition. So this also, right, we can execute very well by using our Power Automate, right? So there will be the no difference. Whatever the queries, right, are working into your SQL server, right? Same queries we can execute from here. Along with that, suppose if there are store procedures, right? So store procedures also we can execute as it is. There is a no difference. Okay. So now I can go right and save it. Okay. So let me run from here. Okay. And see the query result too. So you can see, right? We will get only two records from the your data table, and we can process only those two records because we are having such kind of requirement. Okay. At the same time, right, we can execute other queries also. Maybe I can share those queries right, in case you want to get any reference. Okay. Suppose I what I want to do, I want to update. Okay. I want to update this email ID. Okay. Suppose I want to update test at the rate gmail.com, right, to the test at the rate test.com, right? So what we can do, right? We can go here, then we can write an update query, right? Because we have to update some. So update, right? Then give the, okay, right? Then set set. Why we have to use a set, right? Because which email ID we want to set. Okay. So here this is a column name, email, okay, is equal to, and those values, parameters, right? Those we have to give in a single quote set. But value we want to set test at the rate test.com. Okay, where, right, email is equal to test at the rate gmail. Okay, so update, because we have to update something into the table. So far what we did, we have selected the value, we have fetched the value, that's it, right? So update table name set means where you want to set. Okay, so that value we are giving. Okay, what value we have to set, but where we have to set, right? This I'm giving. So I will not execute this from here, because if I execute it, right, it will update into the table, right? So now suppose I want to execute it from the Power Auto, right? Same, execute. Okay, same, right? Now let's run. So what should happen after the execution, right? It should update test at the rate gmail.com to the test at the rate test.com. Okay, so let's execute. Okay, now we can go and run this. Okay, can you see? Now it has updated test at the rate test. But if you see here, right, in the execute statement, suppose this is the hard coded value I have given, right? But just imagine, uh, okay, just a second, now we'll talk about this. So here what I'm doing, right? This value I'm setting a hard coded value, okay? But suppose I'm taking this value from any application or any source, right? Then then I want to pass that value here. But here I have given it a hard coded, right? So what we can do, we can pass such value through the variable also, right? So that we can make it dynamic, right? Suppose you are taking this value from any application, and then you have to update into the database, right? Where email is equal to test at the rate gmail.com, right? So this value we can pass through the variable also. Okay. So now how to pass that value through the variable? Simply pass that variable here. So I can show you that as well, right? So just I can copy this, control C, control V. Okay. So I will disable. Okay. So here we have to build our SQL statement, right? This update statement I can say. Now that statement will change, correct? Because now values has update. So what I want to do, I want to set where test at the rate test.com, and what value I want to set test at the rate gmail.com, right? Gmail, right? And this value, right, we can say it is coming from the variable. Okay, right here. Okay, so test at the rate gmail.com, we can say it is coming through the variable. Okay, so how can we fetch that value through the variable? Set variable. Okay, and here I can give the name as a uh, email email, right? And what email ID we want to give, right? We want to give it as a test at the rate gmail. Test at the rate gmail. Okay, and then we can remove this email ID, right? And we can pass the value there. Okay, so you can see it will come in a red color, right? That way. Same way. Okay, let's run. Okay, sorry. Good. Okay, completed. Now, if I'm running, what should happen? Instead of test@test.com, it should be test@gmail. Okay. So this is not limited to the single value, right? Even though that value is coming through the variable, we have the capability like we can pass the value through the variable also. Understood? Any question?
So the Power Automate would auto commit this, or do we need to explicitly give a commit here?
No, no, it will do.
It auto commits. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Because it has all the access to the database now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So please try. Now suppose if you want to add any column into the table, right? Which query we can write? Any idea?
So what was the question? Sorry.
So if you want to add any new column,
Alter
like,
table. Yeah, we can alter the table and add column.
correct, we can alter that, right? So very simple. What we can do, we can go here and we can write a query. For example, alter, right? Then give table, then table. What is our table name? This is our table. Alter table, table. Okay. Then add. Right? Suppose we want to add a booking reference number, right? As a column. Booking reference, right? And it can be varchar, means combination of characters as well as number also, varchar, or it will take both. Okay, so that's not a problem. For example, and this is a maximum. Okay, so here we can define the let, right? So if you execute this query, right, what it will do, it will create a one more column, right? For example, execute. So it will say command executed successfully, and if you go and see run, okay, you can see this booking reference number column will get added. Right? So various type of SQL queries we can execute from here, right? Suppose I want to now delete this column, right? Suppose which query we can write? We can write a alter query instead of add. Okay, instead of add, what we have to do? We have to mention a drop. Okay, drop column, drop column, and it is a command executed successfully. Okay, it got read. Right? So in this way, whatever the queries we can execute from the your database, all the queries we can execute from the Power Automate as well. There will be no difference. Clear? Right? So database is so simple. Nothing is complicated actually. Only thing we should little bit aware about the queries. That's okay. Now we'll go to the next problem statement. I will do this. Okay. So what is the problem statement here? Uh, okay. Let me show the input. So this is our input file. Okay. This is our input. And in this statement, we learn a lot of new things as well. Okay. Which we haven't seen. So want to pick up this stock name from here, right? go and select and search. Okay. If you search it, right, we'll get this value. Okay. We'll get this. Okay. So what we have to do from here, we have to capture this value, right? Then I think last updated time. So this we have to capture, right? And we have to capture this three times. Okay. For each and every stock, we have to capture three times, right? And how to create a separate sheet. So you can see I have created a separate sheet as a stock result. And you can see here I'm capturing this in a three times or four times, whatever, right? Or based on the requirement. Okay. For example, four times. And here we are creating this two column stock value and last update, right? And in this new uh, sheet, right, we have to create this particular three columns stock name. So for this Vex Academy Inc, we have captured four times and we are giving the value here, right? Similar way for next one and next to next. And all these three stock name are available into the sheet. Okay. So this is our problem statement. Clear? Problem statement is clear?
Yeah, yeah. So for
Clear, right? Huh.
every
Okay.
company, I think we'll have to run a loop and give a
Mhm.
count,
Okay.
and then that will repeat for all three, four companies, whatever we specify.
Okay. Okay. Any other opinion from anyone? Or whatever Sargam said, it's perfectly fine.
Sir, if you don't mind, could you please repeat the use case again?
Okay. So what is the problem statement, Sajid? This is our Excel file. Okay. We have to take the stock name from here. Okay. So suppose we are taking this Vex Academy, right? We'll go here. We'll select from the list. Click on the search. Once we click on the search, we'll capture this value, stock value, and at the same time we have to capture this last updated date also. Okay. But here we have to do this three. We have to do this thing three times, means or four times. Sorry, four times. So we'll capture four times this value. You can see it is changing per second, right? So we'll capture this four times. Okay, and then we'll create a new sheet, stock result, where we'll give stock name, stock value, stock result, and we'll write the value here. So this is for Vexes account. Then the bot should go select the next one, click on the search, right? Capture the value four times for this one and this one, and write it into the Excel.
Okay,
Okay, so this is our
got.
problem. So
Yeah,
what's
there'll be slight difference. I mean, in the loop, probably because here we'll be running loop inside a loop. That's what I understood. Like three times the same value will be updated for the same company.
yes?
So
So
initially we were just doing it for once, so that loop was running in one loop based on the company. But here, for each company, it will run three times.
hmm, hmm. So you are
So that
saying
will
we
be
have to
slightly
use
different.
loop within a loop, right?
Yes,
Oh,
that's what I
perfect.
understood from there.
Perfect, perfect. You are absolutely right. So you said we have to use loop within a loop, means we have to use two loops, right?
That's right. Yes.
Ah, so which two loop we have to use?
So first would be based on the company. That will be first loop because we three times we have to definitely run.
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
And second would be based on the values. That is the iteration that will be. Uh,
hmm.
what would be that value?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely right. Okay, perfect. Yeah, good. Any other opinion or any discussion, or you are clear what Sajid said?
So Vaibhav, when we put the same company, I mean, we'll be entering the company's name and we'll do a search only one time, right? And then we just
Yes,
have
correct.
to refresh the web page.
We'll do just one time. Okay. So suppose this is the first company,
Hmm.
right? Vexits Academy. We'll search. Okay. Once this search, right? We'll not search this Vexits Academy
Correct.
second time or third time or fourth time, right? We'll just capture this value, changing value 4 times. We'll write it. Once it is done, then we'll go for the next stock name basically, and then we'll see.
Hmm. Okay, okay. So the values are changing there itself. So do we need to give a delay of 1 second, 2 seconds, something like that?
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Ah, okay, okay.
Or otherwise it will be done, right? Because
Hmm.
first we will capture this value. Okay. Then you will capture this value. Okay. This value. Okay. This value. And then you will write into the Excel. Okay. So
Yeah.
obviously it will consume at least 2 to 3 seconds, right? So in that
Hmm.
time this value will get changed. There will be no issue.
Okay, okay.
Okay. But only one thing, as said by Sajid, here we have to use loop within a loop, right? So first loop, right, is to take the stock name from the Excel, and second one is to fetch that value 3 times. Okay, so we have to use a nested loop. Basically, it is called a nested, means loop within a loop, basically. Okay, so can you please try? Just try, and in case any issues, maybe I can explain, not an issue. So URL I have given. So just try initially at least. If not, I will tell.
Okay, and Vaibhav, for creating a new worksheet within an Excel.
Hmm, hmm. Okay. So you are saying how to create a new sheet,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
because we have seen
Correct.
creating a new
Ah,
column, right? So
create a
this
ah,
is something new.
correct, correct. No, no, new sheet, and within that we have to add. So it's very simple. If you go here, right? Here we have add new worksheet. Okay. Add new worksheet, right? This, and this we have to give the Excel instance. Okay, in which Excel you want to add. Then we have to give the name. Okay, whatever the name we have to give, right? And not necessary we can give this hard coded value. We can give it through variable also, right? In case it is dynamic. And then here we have two options: first worksheet and last worksheet. Okay, so you have to be at a first position or last position, right? So based on our requirement, we can select first or last. Then that sheet will get added. Okay,
Okay, add new worksheet. Got it.
got it, right? Okay. Okay, so shall I explain in case you are not completed?
Yes, sir. Please. Thanks.
Okay, fine. So far, like how much you have reached, Sajid? Like,
Uh, so I'm getting multiple errors. I'm trying to fix those, but yeah, if you could just take me through. First is like when you click on that drop down itself,
mm-hmm,
uh, and the selection of value
mm-hmm.
of the drop down itself.
So it's set drop down, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Correct. It's a set drop down. So here again, everything will come initialization, processing, and instant. Okay. So first thing is launch Excel. Okay, Prajwal, very good, Prajwal. Okay. PS. Okay. Now we have to read all the data. Read from text. Uh, Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to add a new sheet, right? So add new worksheet. New worksheet. What is a new worksheet name? Stock value, for example. stock result, whatever you want to write, stock result. Suppose I want to, and I want to make it to the 8, right? Now, in this new sheet, we have to create 3 columns, correct? What are those 3 columns? Stock name, stock value, and last update, right? So, write to Excel worksheet. So, how to write?
Percent
Percentage, curly braces,
square.
square braces, single. Okay. So, first thing, stock name, comma, stock value, right? And last updated date. Okay. And specific. So it should be A1, right? So what it will do, it will write all these 3 columns into your new worksheet. Clear so far? Any question?
Yeah, clear.
Clear, right? Now what is the next thing? We have to launch the browser, right? We have to launch the browser. Let it launch. Okay, save. Right? Now loop, correct? For each,
Yeah.
right? What is the input? Excel, right? Excel for each row. Then we have to select the value, right? From where we have to select the value? We have to select the value from the drop, right? So what we are going to use? Set drop
Yes.
down, correct? Instance, use the browser instance. This is the browser where we want to select. Okay, this. So, right, by name, how to give by name, right? We have to give percentage. So there is percentage. So, what is the, right? This stock. Then after that, we have to click on this button, right? It's a press button. This, correct? Done. Now, what will happen after that? Once we click, we have to capture how many times? 4 times, for example, right? So 4 times means condition, right? There is no question about it. Then loop with condition, loop condition. Use this loop condition here, right? That's fine. In case you are not aware about condition, keep blank, right? And do the further steps, whatever we want to do, right? So now we have to capture the value. How to capture? Get details, right? What details we want to get? We want to get this one, right? Go and check with the multiple values, right? Anyhow, it is not taking the value, right? But still we have to test, right? Okay, working. Previously it was different, right? Because it is changing in everything. It's working, right? So what I can mention stock value, correct? Now, what is the next thing we have to take? We have to take this last one, Okay, see, this is last test, right? It is working or not. State. Okay. Now what we have to do? After this, we have to write into the Excel file, right? So how to write into the Excel file? Write to Excel worksheet, correct? What value we have to write? Percentage, curly braces, pair braces. And don't give any single quote, right? So what we have to write first? We have to write stock name, correct? Stock. So from where we can get the stock name?
From the Excel itself, or I mean, we
From
can.
Excel itself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So directly here we can mention the same thing, row, okay? Or if you're saying like this can be little complicated, right? Take it into the any variable, okay? Right? Stock. Okay, but do not make more complicated, right? These brackets and all in case you are doing first time. So set where, okay. Set where use anywhere, right? Maybe here or here, doesn't matter. Okay, we are getting the same name. So this is a stock name, right? So how to get a stock name? Row, single. This is a stock. Okay, right? Then write to Excel. Okay, where we have to write from A, right? A value percentage curly braces, square braces, row. Sorry, row is not required, right? Now we can give directly variable. What is the variable? Stock name, right? The stock, comma, stock value, right? Stock, rem. Where is last up? Now this last up, why it is not done? Found last updated date. Why it is not done? No, last updated date, correct? Now we need here, so you already have it, right? We did like many times. So what we have to do? We have to set one row count
Row
variable.
count. Yeah.
Set variable. So what I can mention as a row count. Here it will start from 1, 2, right? Whatever. So increase variable before will do before because it is starting from 1. Row count will increment by 1. Right. Here also I will do row. Correct. Now tell me like right, what was the confusion? And we took a lot of time, right? So where is the confusion? So there is no confusion, right? Now very simple we have to give the condition. So anyone think about the condition? Like what should be the condition?
Count, if count is less than 4, then continue.
Yes, right. So what we have to do, we have to set the counter variable, right, Sargam?
Yeah.
So where we can set it?
After selecting the company name,
Here, here you are saying.
uh, row and select. Yes, yes, yes. It should be there,
So
right?
see, very simple. So far, whatever this counter we have set before the loop, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Before the loop. So
Yeah.
before the loop, we can set anywhere,
Ah, okay.
right? Means
Yes.
whatever you said, that is also right. But what is the best? Anywhere before the loop,
Hmm.
right? So I will set it. It will go and will mention. What is the value we have to mention? So here I will mention a record count, right?
Yeah.
For better understand. Record count will do one, right? And as you said, circum, right? It's record count should be less than or equal to 4 or less than 5, whatever, right? So simple.
Yeah. We'll have to give a delay as well, right? Wait time.
No, so as I said, not required, right? Because when you will capture this value, right?
Okay.
After that, it will capture this value. It will increment. Okay.
Ah,
It will write into the Excel. Again, it will go back here, right? So
right.
at least it will take
One,
2 to 3 seconds.
2 seconds. Yeah, yeah.
Not required.
Correct, correct.
So clear, logic is clear because see, as I said, logic is important because if I creating the flow at the beginning, right, and within 5 minutes you can create, there is no issue. But are you clear with the logic?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was also working on different parts at the same time, but I was not able to tie them up. But now it is clear.
Oh, no worries, right? So it will be done with the help of practice only. But
Absolutely.
think about it, Nas. For example, you are not aware about at least create this one, right? Whatever we are aware, for example. And then slowly, what will happen once we start building the flow, right? Automatically it
Yeah.
will come into your mind, right? Like, oh, we can do this, right? We can give the condition like this. So at least start building whatever we know, start building it, right? And slowly, while building only, you will understand like how can we enhance or how can we add the conditions or loops, right? So please try.
Yeah.
So Sajid, you explain everything, right? So
Yeah,
what was
I
the
did.
problem?
Uh, uh, I don't know. I did explain the logic, but somewhere these actions, I get confused. I selected few wrong actions, and then that's when I realized that I should have selected set drop down from the web page instead of the
No, because
other action.
you did the most complex thing, right? And for simple thing, no worries, no
I
worries.
I agree. I agree. I just get lost with these actions, and that
Okay,
takes me most of the time.
no
But
problem.
I'm still working on it. I think I need
Sure,
to practice more on these actions. Once I'm set, probably I'll be able to implement much faster.
sure.
So, thanks.
Also, Vaibhav, instead of select drop down, can't we use populate? I mean, if we can write over there and click enter, that should also take the value, right? The stock name. So set drop down where we select the stock name. Instead of set drop down, can we use this thing populate?
I actually tried using that server, but it didn't work.
It didn't work. Okay, because that is
Nah,
what I also tried, but I did not test it actually. Okay.
I did test it and I got stuck with that same thing. And for the same, I was not getting it. It was some not working for me. I guess this is much more easier because when we click and select that value, that action was not working.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you can still go ahead and test though if you wanted to, but it didn't work for me and I got stuck there. That's when I realized this action was much more easier.
Yeah, because that is for me it's a bit confusing. I think Vaibhav he had told us right when to use set drop down and when we can, even if there is a drop down, we can also use populate. So I think there is some if for, but Vaibhav, if you can just, I mean, not now, but later on, if you can just explain that one more time.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, if we could know what the difference is between and what would be the appropriate action to use those times. Because my first instinct was to use that, I will be clicking on drop down and then probably passing the value, but that is not the case.
No, no. See, first of all, right, what I said, when you are using that action, right, and when you are hovering the mouse, right, it will tell you which type of field it is,
Oh, okay. Yes.
So
right?
if it
So
is a text field, then
then what we have seen, right? If it is
yeah, I
a
mean,
text field,
yeah, yeah,
so during the XC.com, right, it was a
correct,
text,
correct.
correct? So we have used populate one,
Populate. So if it is text, then you can
correct?
use populate.
Okay, suppose
Uh,
you are thinking like it's a populate, right? Very easy. Go add it. Nothing is wrong, right? So we can try. So now I'm going here. See what it is telling you.
It's select, not text.
Select, right?
So yeah,
So very simple, right? Even no need to even remember like what action.
right,
So
right.
so simple. Take any action if you want. You can take the press button also. So if you go there and it will tell it's a select. So from there we'll come to know in case we are taking any wrong action.
Okay, okay. So in case of select, it should be set drop down.
Yes, correct.
If it is text, then it can be
Yes,
populate.
yes. If
Got
it will say input text.
it. Input text, correct.
Input
Yes.
text. So it will be input. Input means we have to type something, right? So it's a populate.
Yeah, yeah.
So in this case, we cannot take a combination of firstly click that using a click
No, no,
action, and
see.
then we cannot.
So see, for example, I will use some uh, weird example. Okay. So suppose if you want to cut an apple, okay, we can cut with the help of knife. We can cut with the help of sword also. Correct. But
Right.
if we are able to cut with the help of knife, we can use knife, right? Why to use the sword, right? For example. Right? So if
Agree. Agree.
so if something we can achievable very easily, right? Use that action.
Understood.
Okay.
I I have a different question. Wow.
Mhm.
Uh, so in this case, right, I got confused there. See, for example, you do a read from Excel worksheet. Yeah.
Uh,
Then you have that variable say Excel data. Now then thereafter you do add new worksheet,
mhm.
right? That gets a Excel instance. Now my question is, if we are using the same instance of the worksheet,
See,
how the program will
no,
know
Praveen.
you only
No,
have to add
no.
another worksheet into it
See, this Excel instance is for the file, okay, not for the sheet.
for that file.
Yes, that file, right? So this also we discussed. So this instance for the file, it's not for the sheet,
Hmm.
right? Because it
Okay,
is going to work on the same file,
I see.
right?
Okay, okay,
Maybe your question should be like this, Praveen, like we are having in the sheet one. So how it will come to know like it has to work on the sheet, this new sheet, right? For
correct.
example.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
why it should be? Because we are adding the new sheet, right? So when we are adding a new sheet, by default, what will happen, right? Suppose you, right, you can go by default, it will be like this. So it's an active
Yeah.
worksheet, correct? It's an active worksheet. And if I
Hmm,
click here, now the focus or the which is the active sheet, sheet two, right?
hmm,
So what it
hmm.
is doing, whatever is the active sheet, it will work on that particular sheet. So Excel instance is something different. Okay.
Okay. So it okay. Hmm. So it's like you have multiple sheets in right when you create right Excel you have multiple sheets okay but it comes always if you are creating a new it will have a sheet one and then it will add new worksheet into it
Correct.
okay Okay, that's the same instance. Okay. 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 Gotcha. Well, what I was thinking is like this is a sheet itself is an instance. Now you have to
No,
create
no, no.
another instance of it, with the name, and then add that particular instance into the existing instance, the variable that we have. Okay. Okay.
No.
I thought little complicated then. Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, we can move. I think. I mean, I'm just finishing.
Yeah, I think we can move.
Okay. Now the next thing we'll talk about the configuration file. Okay. So anyone aware about like what is a configuration file? Have you heard so far? No? Okay. So what is the configuration file? Okay. Suppose you are working on any automation, right? And during that automation, it might be the thing like your input file path can change, okay? Or we can say application, we can take example of UI demo, okay? So there is a possibility, right? Or obviously there is a possibility, there is no question about it, right? Suppose we are working on this Excel file as a input, right? But when we will give this code to the end user, right, or business user, for them the path will be different, right? Same case with the our application also, correct? So what should we do in that particular case? So what you can do, okay, you can open the training order, right? Training order flow, okay, and do in the same training order system, okay. So there, what we are doing first, we are launching the Excel, correct? This launch. So transactions, right? Is sorry, we are going with training order, right? So order system. Use this order system. Okay. Then forget about read. Any of you are reading. This is the one thing. And run application. Correct? If you want to open the application, we are using this run application, right? And application part we are giving in this way, right? So what will happen when I will give this code to maybe end user, right? This path can change, right? At the same time, this path can change, correct? So we have one concept, right? It is not related to only RPA. It is across all the programming, right? So we'll have one configuration file, right? And in this configuration file, so whatever the things are changing, right? We will mention those things into that configuration file, and we will call in terms of variable, okay? So even though tomorrow something is changing, we can update the things into the configuration file, right? And from there we can fetch that input. Okay. So here I have created one Excel file, okay, and given the name as a config.xls, right? Or xlsx, anything is. And here I have given input file path. Okay. So the business users or whoever is running this automation or using this automation, if something is going to change tomorrow, right? That person can change here. So here I have given the path of the file. Here I have given the path of the application. So how to give the path, right? Very simple. So this is right click. If you have Windows 11, right click and here you will get the path. Okay. Or maybe everyone can go here, right? But it will not give the extension, right? It will not give the extension. Control C. No, it will not give the extension, right? So what is the better? You click, okay, click, shift right click, shift right click, will get a copy as a path. Okay. This is the path, right? Just remove this double. Okay. In this way, we can get the path. Okay. So copy, right, and paste it. Similar way for the application. Correct. This training. Shift, click, shift right click, shift right click, copy as a path, and we can update. Okay. Only thing, remove the double quotes. Okay. Now this is called as a configuration. If other parameters are there, we can add it, right? So now this is my automation, okay? And in this automation, I want to fetch the data from the configuration, right? So what I will do, again, we want to launch Excel with the following document. Where is the path? This is the path, right? Okay, this is select, right? And give the proper naming convention, okay? So for example, config, config instance, right? And if you want to give the region, we can give the region also. So config, config. Now we have launched. After that, we have to read all the data as well, right? Or we have to read one by one, basically, correct? So for example, I want to take the input file path or input application path, right? So what I can do, I can go here and mention read from X, right? What is the instance? So you can see there are various instances. I will take the configs. Now I want to read value of single cell. So suppose I want to take input file path. So the position will be B2, right? B. And here, right, will set as a correct. Here I will mention input file path. Input file. Okay. Similar way, input app path. Here, B3, right? Input app path, right? And now we got the value from for the input file path. We got the input, we got the value for input app path. And while launching, right, will not give this hard coded value, right? What I will do, I will go here and will select input file path. Okay, here will not give this, right? Will give input app path. Okay, so that tomorrow, if the path is going to change, right, no need to worry about it, right? We can change directly here, and after that run the automation. So whenever or wherever we are using this input file path or input application path, right, maybe at 10 places, 15 places, no need to go to the each and every action and change it, right? So if I'm going to run this, can you see it has opened this application as well as it has opened this input file also. Okay, so the purpose of configuration file is if any of the thing, right, which we are using in the automation, right, and it is dynamic, it can change. So those things we can take it from the configuration. Understood? Any question, doubt? Clear? Okay. If it is clear, What you can do, please implement the same thing in your training order system, which you have already, and do this in the initialization. Okay, and just run the initializations and see it's working. But concept point of view, it is very important, right? So please. Okay, so we'll move now. So now we'll go to the next topic, which is called as a API. Okay. Anyone is aware about API? Like what is the API? What is the use of it? Any idea?
I mean, I haven't actually worked, but say suppose there are two different platforms, and if we have to integrate them, then we need to use an API. I don't know if that is correct, but yeah.
So API, right? It's like application programming interface. Okay, and it is the intermediary between front end and back end. Okay. Suppose you are going to any website, right? Maybe Amazon, Flipkart, or any other website. And suppose if you want to buy a mobile, right? You will go there, you will type which mobile you want to buy, and then you will get a result. Okay. So you are doing a request, right? In terms of search, and you are getting a result, right? As a response. So when you are searching something, right, it will send as a request to the database. Okay. Amazon, Flipkart, they're having their own database, right? Every application. It will go to the database, it will do the query, and based on that, you are getting a result as a response. So in the background, it is happening and it is taken care by APIs. It is called as a application programming interface. Okay, and
Yeah.
almost each and every industry, right, they are using this API because it having its own advantages, right? For example, faster communication, right? Then security, data security. So due to all these reasons, right, using the API. Okay. So now we'll see how we can use it in terms of automation. Okay. So I have given you one URL into the group chat, right? And within, and here also we are having various type of API, right? Similar to our database, right? If you want to update, insert, select, right? So here also we are having various kind of API. So first API is get, means select, right? Like this is the API. Once we hit this API, okay, you can see we'll get this result. And if you tick this, right, so you can see in this API we are getting the some input. Okay, so you can see what are those things we are getting per page information, total pages, ID, email ID, first name, avatar, right? Suppose I want to extract this information one by one, right? So your input can come through Excel, your input can come through database, your input can come from API also. Okay. So just imagine your input is coming through this API, and after getting this input, I want to extract each and everything from this API and want to process it. Okay. For example, I want to send it to the RPA challenge website and process it. Right. So how can we do this? Right. How can we do this? So let's see how can we achieve it. Right. And every uh, API having its endpoint URL. Okay. And it is called as an endpoint URL. So now this is a API which is giving us the employee information. Okay. So it is an endpoint URL, right? So now you can see I have uh, entered this way URL and got the result, right? So same way we can hit the API URL from the Power Automate. So how can we do that? We can use invoke web service. Okay, invoke web service. And this is a UI. Okay. And here we are having different types of methods or types. So this is get, right? So that's fine. And this uh, once we hit this URL, we are getting output, and that output will get stored in this variable called as a web service list. Okay, and if you want to see like a message, web service response, when can you see same information we are getting, right? Which we was getting from the URL. But now what we will do with all the information, right? We want to fetch each and every information from here. Okay, one by one. Let's suppose page per page total, and I need this value, right? So if you want to fetch particular value from this API response one by one, right? The first thing what we have to do, and this is common across all the platform, convert JSON, okay, to custom object. Okay, convert JSON to custom object. So what do you mean by this, or what this activity will do, right? What this activity will do, it will convert. Okay, this is JSON. Okay, maybe you have heard file format, right? JSON format, correct? So whatever this data we will get from the API, right? It will get in the form of JSON. Okay, and if you use this convert JSON to custom object, what it will do? It will convert it in terms of object and value. Okay, means if you give the reference of the object, we'll get its value. Okay, so that's the reason when we are working with the API, this step is mandatory and common, right? So now, which input we have to convert into the custom object, right? The response, whatever the response we have received, right? So this is, and it will get stored into the JSON as a custom. Okay, and by giving the reference of JSON as a custom object, we'll be able to extract any info. Okay, for example, set with or maybe display. Okay? So that so suppose I will go here and I will give the reference of JSON as a custom, but it will have all the value, right? I need few value. For example, I need a page information. Okay, so I will take this as a page. Okay, similar way, uh, page variable page. Oh, okay. So we can. Where is the page? The page is under the JSON as a custom. Okay, and inside that, what we need a page info. Okay, so we can give the reference like similar way. We can give any other thing. Okay, suppose I want this total pages value. Okay, I can go and here I can just mention total page. Similar way, suppose I want this data, right? So here you can see page having single value, per page having single value, but data having multiple. So let's see how it will fetch the data. Okay, and we can run. And at the end, output will get in a string, right? So we can store in any variable and we can process wherever it is written. So this is all input or all the response. You can see this page 2, total page is also 2, and the date. Okay, see. So what it will do, right? It will give us each and every information from here. But now you can see here, uh, we need email also. Okay, each and every email ID, each and every email ID from, right? Because what we'll do with all the data. So for that, we have to follow some different steps. Okay, but before that, just try uh, it is working or not, or in case any question doubt, please ask. Done, right? So now suppose here we are having more than one information, right? And I want to extract email, first name, last name, one by one, right? And I want to process it, for example. So what we can do here, right? Here we are having more than one value, so we can use the loop, and by using the loop, right, we'll be able to process the information one by one. So I can use set variable, okay, and here we'll give the as a date, okay, and JSON as a custom object. Okay, okay, sorry. And what is the name? This is date. Okay, right. And after that, I can use a for each. Okay, because here we are having more data, right? And we can take each data one by. So here, what the input? The input data, okay, and here we'll mention as a for each atom, okay, because it's called as a, okay. So suppose maybe I can use a display, okay, right? So all information is available at, okay, and in this, right, I can give the whatever information is required. For example, email, first name, last name, right? This is email, and copy, right? Here I can give first name, mm, last, okay, or avatar, right? Whatever information is. So let me run now. Okay, this is all data. Okay, this is page, total page, and data. This is all information under the data, right? Now it will extract information one time. So you can see the first, like Michelle dot Lawson, then it will give first name, then last name, right? After that, it will go to the next record. Okay, Lindsay, right? So accordingly, it will give the values from each and every uh, record, okay, and it will give the single information. So if you want to process at any application, very well we can process it, and whatever this value it is giving in the string, okay, right? So now you can see by using for each, we were able to extract email, first name, last name values, right? But it is not limited to that. If you want to take ID, if you want to take avatar, we can extract. Understood? Please try. Step number 6 you already completed. Let's start from step number 7.